Ah man, but Bernard's English
Be
is
well.
not our English.
Let me
It's
see your
not.
socks today. Oh, okay.
A shark.
They almost look like they are not colored.
Right?
The red was covered.
There you go, yes.
But okay, that's
Have you guys
comforting
seen how
to know I
their
still
colours
have the
have very
Be Well.
many funny names these days? I was watching a TikTok video about some Range Rover. They were talking about the interior, and the interior is called blood red.
Yeah.
Blood red.
Oh yeah.
Like, you
You
can't
know,
just say
initially the
red.
car that I
But
wanted,
the colors now are like genders. Every day there's a new one.
but also they've started naming colors. I think according to the shade, how dark they are.
Yeah.
How
Even
light
according
they
to the mood.
What's
Yeah.
the color of these pearls?
That's grey. Isn't it grey?
It's not grey. It's not white.
Which one? The color of what?
Of white.
The pearls.
I would
That's
think
like pale white.
That's a white.
The color is called pearl.
But you cannot start the pod by lying to us like
Yeah.
this.
Okay. What's the color of blood?
Red.
Blood red.
Exactly. See,
Do you
that's
have
what
to
I'm
add
saying.
blood?
pearl white.
Yes, because
No,
now
it's specific here.
you
There are
can't
different
just
shades
say
of
red anymore.
You can't just say
There
red.
you're an average person.
Because the noob red is different from the blood red.
There you're an average person.
Ah, but there's a thin line
If you
between
say
the
red
two.
instead of blood red, you're the people who call a tortoise tortoise.
Totas.
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 Hey, tuveyo tutandike pod. Are we ready? Are we ready to rock and roll?
All right, guys. Welcome
Yep.
back to episode 19.
Episode 19.
Whoa! Nothing
Boom, boom.
serious.
Guys, I need to correct something that you keep saying and
Okay.
it keeps disturbing me every time. You know when you say welcome back to episode
like kulika,
19, it's like there was we
Episode
started
19.
at episode 19 and then we paused. We're like, okay guys, we will continue episode 19 tomorrow. And now we are
she has
telling
a point.
people
So-
welcome
let me do-
back.
let me
So
do
the
that.
thing is-
Okay, it's okay. Okay.
Either welcome back to
Hashtag
Nothing
19.
Serious.
Fine. Hashtag 19. Welcome back to Nothing Serious.
Thank
Faiza
you.
is here.
See
See why
Tizo
Chris
is here.
Brown should have Mutuzo
Bewo
as
is
the
here.
lawyer?
Oh my god.
Aine is
no.
here.
Yeah, man.
As a lawyer, you really think Mutuzo would defend Chris Brown?
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
yeah, by the way,
I
she
would rather
would.
die.
With her rapport.
I would rather die.
Money.
With her rapport.
No.
Before you guys even take over this chaos, first of all, you guys, thank you so much for the comments. the YouTube is exploding. There's so much love on there. People are
Yeah.
sharing a lot of
you.
wonderful stuff
Say
for
love
everybody.
For everybody.
Love for everybody.
They have
Yes,
appreciated
love for
everybody.
Do you know the number
Thank
of
you
times I
so
keep
much
saying
for the
Bill,
comments.
Bill,
Thank you
Bill.
so much for the comments. Keep them coming. Keep the
Bill
love
is
coming.
people's
Share,
favorite.
subscribe, like, and tell everybody about the pod.
Yeah,
Now you guys can go on.
absolutely.
There's a comment you were talking about.
No, there's nothing.
What comment was it?
Yeah,
On the
there's a
last
comment you
podcast.
mentioned.
Which one? There's a number of them.
About the average person, average looking person. Was it that one?
Explain
Yeah,
to the people
Yeah.
who an average babe is.
An average babe. Well, for starters, we are going to begin with the locations. An average babe is not supposed to exceed Nigeria
What do you mean? Exceed?
Like
in terms
where
of
they stay.
where
So
where
if
they
she's
hang
like
out
in-
from.
If she,
Let me
where they
rephrase-
hang out.
Let me rephrase the statement. An average babe is not supposed to exceed hangout places in Nigeria, according to me. So, X-Hub, Twala Tugende, Laventi, Twala Tugende, Gardens, Twala Tugende.
Well, now they are
So
average.
are those average?
That's average.
That's average.
Yeah.
Okay.
They might stretch
A little bit.
a little bit to Pier 1.
Not a little bit, Angie.
Too much, eh?
Go on.
No,
Yeah, so that's
it is within.
within it. That's average.
Tier
Also,
one is like Ntinda.
Right.
that's why I say they don't
Because
exceed. Because you see, it's
actually,
like
the
it's-
comment is from Nabukera, Lydia. She's asking, define an average babe.
yeah,
So
Nabukela,
it's in terms of where they hang out.
where they hang out.
So the
Okay,
babes
who's
who
an
hang out.
average babe to you?
He actually said, let's start from where they hang out. So I'm
So
trying to
that's
see where
that's
this
one.
goes.
Huh?
Yes,
that's
So what
one.
else?
Next.
2. Well, the pronunciation of not even pronunciation itself. There are some words they hardly say, like lasagna.
By the way,
If you've been with a chick for a
Kati.
month and in her vocabulary she has never mentioned the word lasagna, sushi.
but for you, have you mentioned them?
Me, I mentioned them.
What is
You're
lasagna?
mentioning them
Like,
now.
what is in lasagna?
There's an average human being here.
I'm
but-
an
gentleman
by the way,
here.
101, I'm an average guy. Because I'm always at
And there's
Exam.
nothing wrong with being
No,
I'm always at
for the guy, it's
Gardens.
okay. You can be average.
Pier 1, I've been there before. So
We're describing the chicks, right?
So guys can be average.
Guys can be average. Guys, as long as you have money. Let me tell you, guys, as long as you have money. You see, that's why guys are handsome. The handsome is not in how you look. It is in how handy
Okay, so
you can be
we've
with
talked about
counting the
where
money.
she hangs.
Yeah.
We've talked about
the vocabulary.
English.
the
what
vocabulary,
else?
what else?
Yeah. Man, this is gonna sound so bad, but let me just say it. You what are those shoes called? They're like are they called? They're not like flats. They're like boom. What are they called?
What are those?
Those
Yeah,
were
but-
small. No, they're those were small. They're like as if Chinese shoes. Those, you know those.
They're flat.
Shoes.
I'm going
What
to
are
look
those
for
about?
the
Bring your shoe.
First, there must be.
I'm sure Motuzo has this shoe.
They're called pumps.
Oh, pumps. You talk about pumps.
Nah,
Like if Rebecca wears pumps.
If-
But pumps
Babe,
are power.
listen, guys.
Mtuzo wa matula.
There are
Chill
some
this
pumps that are like this. Have you seen them? Have you seen them? That are like this. When she removes her feet, instead of a shoe being flat, it's like this. It's like a boat. You see that shit?
So that's an average babe.
Stay away.
Okay, let's have. Okay,
Let me
let's
tell
have
you
this
one fact. During my back days, that registered average women have the best chow.
Oh.
Yeah,
You
I think that's
cannot-
universally accepted.
You cannot
I
compare
think
their
that's-
chow
That one
Yeah.
we can agree.
No, that
to
one
your
is-
hike. You
Yeah,
get.
yeah.
So at the end of the day, a win is a win.
That's
A
why
win is a win,
that's
bro.
very
A
true.
win is a win is a win.
And that's why I believe every guy out there has this one average babe.
Or two.
Or two
Or
that you
three,
cannot
maybe.
show to your friends. Each man like Mose those ends can have like some average chicken buate those ends.
So an average man can't be in Kololo. No.
That's a lie.
Yeah. Chanja.
So,
Chanja,
safe to say, I'm not average at all. Not even close to it.
No.
No, for you, I think you and the word average, you don't see eye to like your.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. But I agree with you. Guys, how was your week? You see, my week.
A handful.
Mine is a handful too, but mostly because of the kids. I have.
Oh yeah, holidays.
I
How's
have-
it going?
So, yesterday I was at Spectrum with both Zuri and Crown, and we were talking about how it is very suspicious. So, I had them for like a week last holiday, and I swear these two girls were fighting constantly. Like, they would report, and you feel like your head hurts because they would report like through every minute of their day. And then this holiday, it's like someone gave them something to drink. They are cooperative. They work together. They touch in each other's iPads, and none of them wants to kill the other. I have like peace in the house, and it's very
Suspicious.
suspicious.
Something
I
is.
don't know.
Yeah.
Something is wrong that I don't know yet, but
grandparents.
we shall find out. No, like last holiday, it was so bad. Like they would
Maybe
even
they've
fight.
learned. Maybe they've
They
grown.
would fight for where to sit. As in, me, I want to sit here.
Sibling rivalry.
Grandparents.
Always.
Yeah, call it
Yeah,
grandparents.
Tuesday.
I think so too. I think so too.
This holiday something is wrong or right, I don't know. Then first week into the holiday, I'm still having school nightmares because I keep jumping out of my bed thinking I've missed class, or like I swear I hate
Yeah,
school, guys.
PTSD.
The other day I dreamt that a lecturer had given us an abrupt exam, and I jumped out of my sleep because I thought
You guys still have
PTSD.
such dreams.
For me, not anymore.
I thought,
My dreams are different.
No, me.
but like it was so school related.
Sometimes I don't even remember them.
Sometimes I don't even
And
know.
so my
Ever,
week
ever.
has been. Oh, I would have been so occupied. Can I advertise my business on here, guys? But like I have a beautiful
Even we have like a
business.
free pedicure.
You are going to pay us.
Guys, Mumbanje, when we make it, just
Advertise in
cut
10
it off.
seconds. We'll give you 10 seconds.
Guys, I have a nail parlor, a makeup studio. So if you want makeup services, eyelashes, pedicures, manicures. I have men's packages. Please don't
Okay,
hesitate
it's
to reach
over.
out.
Nangi can say what?
Ah,
I'm going to pay you guys.
Let her finish
Pay you
her.
guys in the future.
Other than that,
Go to Kasuku's show
Aine.
and advertise for them.
A story about having a dream about a lecturer giving out random paper. This one time I remember very well in Chibuli, S1. Yeah, we were reading for some. I don't even. I think it was history. So we literally spent a whole night reading. I went back to dorm to sleep for like an hour or two, and then wake up and go. So when I went to bed, I dreamt that we were doing the paper. So we did the paper properly. Like I have a
fear
proper
exams.
dream of how we did the paper. And now when I woke up and the paper was done. Like the real paper. Like I slept.
you mean-
through that?
no one woke you
No one
up.
woke me up.
Bro,
In serious?
you slept
That's
through
one
the
memory
paper.
I can never forget. So now when
Oh
I have
my
an
goodness.
exam,
Yeah.
I am on pressure
Yeah.
because of that one experience. So can you imagine waking up in dorm and there's no one?
Oh my
All your
god.
classmates
dormitory.
hated you.
I would lose it.
The funny thing is,
Like everybody's worried about themselves.
the funny thing is that Mr. Pepper, as from Nakasero, the other guy who had also missed the paper, and for him he had real chopped, was from Nakasero.
So it looked like
Yeah, like a zero thing.
Yeah.
Ah, man.
But the VD, the way I was scared for my mom, like the moment I saw my mom like this, I was like, "Mom, I missed a paper. I missed your paper." So I was
Eh,
like, "This
no
and
more
this.
soccer.
Let us even go to the staff room."
Yeah.
I showed you that statement way because I was freaking out.
So tell us how your week was.
Yeah.
My week was fantastic. Aye. So after
I went through your streaks. What happened?
a lot,
Let him tell us.
Not
Let him
everything
tell us.
goes on Snap.
Usually everything,
Shit, yeah,
unless you're having.
my lips are closed. But after talking about how we should boycott Scott's Mapuma,
Yeah.
I went there. I went for
It's
that
so
concert.
embarrassing.
Always there.
No, I went for the
Weekly.
concert first of all because Linus is one of the most hardworking marketers I've ever seen. Like, have you ever seen someone who knows your craft but you don't know whether they've been to a marketing school or? But just the way he does his thing was amazing. So for Linus, I had to go. Tamani, don't think he knows me. We are not friends. He doesn't know me. I'm just a fan. So we went for the concert. One of the highlights that were there is I think we are done going for concerts. Like everyone on this pod. Kubanga
Why?
emyaka gyaffe tekikyagenda ku concert.
Teacher gonna concert.
Why? What happened?
If I'm to estimate the age group there, about 80% was below 25. And then about 60% was below 20.
What do you mean below 20?
Below 20,
Yeah,
there
they're
were
kids.
kids at the concert.
Parents let their kids go
They're
to
in holidays.
concerts
Piano
lately?
concert, yeah.
They're in holidays.
My
Wait, what are you
friends.
trying to say? So you can't let your child go for a music concert?
No.
Because it's a music,
mine.
yeah.
18.
But it's a
Below
music
20,
concert,
yes, I would.
guys.
I
It's
would,
a
yeah.
piano
Below 18.
Not
concert.
20.
Below 20. But that's what
An
we're saying.
18-year-old,
Below
a
20 to what?
19-year-old.
Unless you're at
Like
campus.
19, 18, even 17.
But
17
only in
don't
my
count.
house.
18, I was at barbecue lounge.
As long as you're with the right people.
Park.
I don't
I
know,
see no
but
harm in
it's
it.
in my house.
17.
Yes. As long as you're
go
with the
with
right
you.
people. No.
But then at 18, that's when you can start
Look,
going
for
around.
example,
I don't
if you
know.
go with your classmates, you go like 4, 5 of you,
Exactly,
and you have a
because you can't
designated
go
driver
alone.
who's going to drop each of you at your homes. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
There's no harm in
Well,
it.
Me?
if my
No,
kid is
not
going
my
with
child.
them, then the driver is on me.
That's okay.
The security is
And
also
those
on me.
kids are also there who came with their
Yes.
security.
Yeah, that
Because-
would be it. 16,
because now,
17,
now
my
look at it this
Not-
way.
not
You have a
me.
16-year-old, maybe Faisal has a 16-year-old, I have a 16-year-old. All of them want to go. So we agree that
We
you know what,
agree that, okay.
Hey.
let's get a driver. Let's
Yeah.
get a drone.
Hey.
They will take them.
Okay.
They'll wait for them. They'll bring them back.
That's
There's no
okay.
harm in that.
That's
So
okay.
now-
Guys,
So yeah,
not
kids are there.
me. Like, Crown will start going for
What's
concerts
your
at
problem? What would be your problem?
Security.
Security.
But
Yeah.
No,
In what sense?
my
we-
first
we-
year was
with their
18.
we
colleagues,
created
with their
a scenario.
friends.
If,
I was
for
very-
example, there are
all of the
Yes.
Zuri, Crown, Aretha, like all
Yeah.
the children.
Yes.
Okay, since the other ones have their own mothers, maybe
Yeah, but if their mothers also
different.
wanted their children to go,
But mine, my child,
Yeah.
Nanteza, will not be going.
I want to
until
understand why.
She is 18.
oh, okay.
And like we have had, like you cannot be 16 and
you're
you're
going for
at
concert.
a concert. Let me tell you, know
Nah,
how
I
we
think-
keep talking about how we don't raise our children alone, right? Your child at 16 we'll go and we'll see, like, yeah, there's security, but you see, security won't lock their eyes to what they have to see. Then you see people banging each other in one corner. People snorting.
On the contrary,
I don't know. I can't.
No, but no,
I tell you guys
understand
the experience I had with these kids.
Please,
I
Misha,
knew
because
some of them.
I was going to say I understand where Michelle is coming
I
from.
do.
She's literally thinking like any other mother would.
Yeah.
But you see us guys, it's an easy thing because you know we are always the cool people in with our kids. You know,
Okay, here's what I saw. Yeah, remember back then during our parties, our 19, 20-year-old parties, people would black out like dead drunk. Like you'd see people blacking
people
out. No, us like
And
in
like
our
those are
young
the
days,
things.
in our campus days when we were in first year, between 19 to 22, 23. You remember our crowds? Guys would black out. Guys would come like dressed shady. Guys would be. These kids were bloody organized. First of all, they dress well. Like the whole time, my people were complaining. I was like, but guys, look at what these kids are wearing. Eh? Very smart
they're leveled up kids,
appearances. Two, zero reckless behavior. Like, yes, people are drinking, people are smoking, but you're not going to find people blacking out. You're not going to find people banging behind the fence or whatever.
I don't know.
Like, I feel
You
like
don't wanna take
us
the
when we
risk.
were their
Like,
age,
yeah, like, you don't want to risk
and we
it
were at a
because
concert
that's
like
the
that
day.
one, my G. Twandibadde tuvaawo like somewhere.
man, if twakubapate
Kubanga
man.
twakubanga
Like,
But
But
Julia, all about how we grew up, it was there was no internet, there was
think we were
nothing.
very excited.
We were always outside riding bicycles,
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
duru, you know, doing all these sorts of things. So when we go out to the real party, you want to maximize.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You want to blast and come back with a story.
These kids were chill.
You know, that's
And-
very
and-
chill.
and for
I've
me-
seen this. I've
For
seen
me
this
also,
shit.
and perhaps I speak from a place of naivety and ignorance because I'm not a parent. But I would like to think that if a 16-year-old wants to go for a concert, it would be foolish of me to assume that by making sure they don't go, I'm protecting them, right? Yes, in that moment I feel like I'm protecting them from the world, but the world is constant. The world will always remain there, right? The best thing I can do is just make sure that if my child is interacting with the world, I put safeguards. Like if you're going for a concert, I need to know who you're going with. I need to know what time you're coming back. I need to be in charge of the driver. Like I need to have control over that, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, I don't want this child to be 20 and they're doing stuff for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, I need them to experience life.
The risk is worse.
Yes, to experience life in a controlled environment. And again, as I said, maybe I'm speaking from a place of ignorance because I'm not a parent. But I think that, especially in this era, it's very risky to try and overshield your child. Man, the child will bump into things in your absence. It is better when they are young. You start introducing them to these things.
You start
This is what
exposing
happens.
them to these things.
This is what happens at concerts. This is what happens. Like, expose them so that when they're 18, 19, 20, they can't be lied to by some random guy who is like, hey, let's go to a concert. They're like, I've been to concerts.
You know what I've just
Like
figured out?
me,
You know?
we will expose.
But I can understand as a mother.
I will expose Crown, but I don't think, like, we will expose Mpola Mpola.
Yeah, no, I
You
get that. Yeah, with
Because now, at 14, I don't want to be telling you, giving your first shot of alcohol, right? At 14.
obviously
At
not
15, at
really.
16.
Yeah, nobody wants
So,
that.
like, we will, but at
16 is
16,
S4.
at 16, it's very easy. Like, the thought process of a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old
Yeah.
and a 20-year-old, they are all different,
Yes, around
right?
it, yeah.
So at 16, I want to start having that conversation with you of this is...
So if your 16-year-old asks you they want to go to a concert, your immediate response is no.
No, it depends.
I'll be that
A
cool uncle.
concert
You know what?
Yeah.
that goes to... We're coming back home at midnight?
Okay, maybe not.
Guys, let me twist
though.
the
Let
conversation.
me, let me take
so-
the responsibility of being
I will beat
The
you
cool-
up.
Patia. No. I will
As
go
long,
with that.
yes,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
Crown is
I'll
going
be
to
there.
a concert,
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
You-
I'll
There's
you have
ample
to
fight.
First of all, I don't drink.
You have to, yes. That's
Second
the
of all,
only
I
way.
love sitting. The other thing that disappointed me about this concert is the first thing I looked for when I got there was a chair.
There was no chair.
Like,
Sajalia
no,
too.
to show you how old I have become. Like, 5-10 years ago, I go to a concert, I am on the stage. I want to take a snap of the guy's shoe, the socks, the pants.
Yeah.
I even want to go back and tell guys, man, Naya Ambala salvage. You get? But the moment I entered, like, sir, I saw a crowd. I was like, where's the first place I can get a chair? I got the chair, I went to the back, I sat, with my bestie.
And just observed.
And we were like, man, now let's first bank KB the whole time.
It's the only way. Is Uncle Faizo going to be there?
Yes.
Uncle-
Then he's the one
Then he's
responsible. At
okay.
least there you're secure.
I tell Uncle B
And that's
Wall.
okay.
Uncle B might drink a beer, man.
Yeah. Me, I can't be
You
trusted.
also-
I can't trust you guys.
Uncle
The
Dero.
ears may not be working by that time.
Yeah. And
Because
I need
remember,
you
me and
sober.
Bernard also, there's an age group.
know.
I'll be sober.
Absolutely
Bring back Crown
not.
home safely.
Moving on.
Sober.
Moving on. So
Moving
so
on.
so apart from the
Mama,
Scots Mafuma,
Oh,
summary?
went to Silo. Always late.
Yeah.
Always late.
yeah.
But back to you.
I'll always later.
So for me, my week has been mostly around this Man United. I've been on Bunkenke. Still am on Bunkenke. At the time of shooting this pod, it's a Wednesday, which means yeah, we are an hour away from the final. So by the time you watch this, we shall either have won or have been beaten.
Predictions.
Yes. So immediately after, immediately after this,
Predictions.
we're going to watch the game. Predictions: I think United is winning 4-2.
4-2, eh?
Yeah, United is winning
Aine?
4-2.
3-1.
United.
Predictions?
United.
United is playing against Tottenham. Just give us numbers.
2-1.
2-1. Who will win?
United or
Wait.
Tottenham?
I really don't
United
like
or Spurs?
United.
Give us
But
one.
take
Give
okay,
us
United.
United.
Oh.
Yes. Faizo.
My dad
Me?
will be so disappointed.
Faizo.
Man U Tottenham.
Uh-huh.
Europa final. 0-0.
And then
And then?
extra time.
Penalties.
Penalties.
Extra time first.
Extra
0-0
time.
still.
Either 1-1
But still,
or
win.
we
a
win
draw.
in extra time.
If we go to penalties,
If we go to penalties,
Yeah.
we win 4-3.
4-3.
4-3.
Okay, great.
So,
That's
So,
Mose,
so wait. So,
Mose, can we get like this?
yeah,
clip?
we shall.
The minutes. Is it possible to get it like tonight?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
You guys said you're playing tonight, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're playing
Come on,
tonight.
No,
just make
well-
an
Mose has to
exception.
go and
We'll
watch
see
the
after
game.
the pod.
Moses has to go and watch the game
So,
as well.
apart from United, I have some friends of mine who have been having very horrible couple of days. Agatha,
In Tanzania.
yeah, she.
We don't know where she is.
Yeah, actually, as we speak, we don't know where she is.
Yeah.
The assumption was that Agatha and Boniface Mwangi had
been
been
deported.
deported from Tanzania to Kenya, but they've not been sighted at the airport. At the time of recording this podcast, the lawyers have applied for habeas corpus. Like there's a lot of stuff that's happening. We don't know where they are basically. So that's been happening, and then obviously. It's a very horrible week in the history of Uganda.
Definitely.
I'll just leave it at that. I'm saddened, I'm distraught, I'm broken, I'm just disappointed in this country. So it's been a terrible week for me.
I'm sorry for the laugh, but
You laugh.
According
you
to
laugh.
Aine's laugh, yeah.
You laugh.
When the guy hit his head. I just
Guys.
think this guy laughs at the wrong shit.
Yeah.
How was your week? You tell
Guys.
us.
Okay.
Like you go to
First,
Aine
tell us what I
and
tell-
you go
I
to
don't
Aine
know if
and
I'm
tell
allowed
him
to say
guys.
this. How
First wait, let him first.
frustrated
Let
this
him
thing
first.
made me.
First wait, let him first tell us how his week was.
well, my week has been caught in between good times and pressure. Of course, the pressure escalating from Manchester United. I have a couple of friends of mine that are trolling me over the game, so I'm also caught in between the edge. Earlier today on my show on radio, I was receiving calls from very many listeners, and everyone is looking forward to the game and assuring me how I might not work tomorrow if I lose the game. So
Will you work though?
I mean, I have to, but I can guarantee you the mood is going to be dead.
Yeah.
Because, bro, I was on there spitting fire. It's like I was going to be playing. I'm like, yo, we
Like you're the one who's going to score the
I'm
goals.
like, guys,
We got
the
this.
reason why we are failing in EPL is that for us, our focus is
focused.
somewhere else. It's like they bring different players.
Yeah. Nene bamala batukuwa, where will I hide?
Guys, do not speak negativity.
But anyway, yeah.
You have people who make
It's
us
okay.
lose.
No, we are winning.
Just know we are winning, full stop.
Period.
No comma.
Absolutely.
All right.
And then, of course, I was taken up by the amazing comments on YouTube from everyone that is watching.
Yeah.
So I go through and,
There's somebody
just-
called Kinsey who says this is her weekly therapy.
we
That shit
appreciate
is nice,
you, man.
guys.
We
Someone
appreciate
said,
you.
I don't remember who in the comments who said, over my therapy right on time or something like that.
I met someone who told me, guy, I am the one who gave up.
On the mental illness.
I had to
thing.
process it
Yeah.
properly and be like, oh, yes,
Yeah.
my G, we
Yeah.
are two. Let's look for a third one.
Yeah.
So you guys, these guys always come back to the pod talking about someone they met out there who talked about the pod or like mentioned something about the pod, and it turns out I have nothing. So this coming week, I want to step out and go out there
To the dogs.
until someone
Say something about the pod.
says something.
Yeah.
Just tell them where you're going.
I don't know yet, but
They
I
will.
plan
I'm
on
sure they will.
going out there. I
Yeah.
will be at.
Everywhere.
I need
Everywhere.
someone to tell me.
You've had the places
make
you're not
their
supposed to go to.
She's not
For
average,
average
so
people.
she can.
Oh,
She can go
yeah.
anywhere,
She
right?
can go anywhere.
So
Talking
our
about-
watchers are not average.
Talking about people giving us feedback, I was working out this week at the gym, and some guy just came and just whispered in my ear and said, 2 more. Michelle is going to fight you on the podcast. So, guys, I want to make it very clear that Michelle knows.
We do not condone violence on this
We do
podcast.
not condone
we do not.
violence.
We are lovers, not fighters.
Some guy said, yo, 2 more, my guy.
We are lovers,
Yeah.
not fighters.
For a second, quick second, I hadn't understood what the guy was saying until I paused and looked at him and said, "I watch your pod." So I was like, "Oh yeah." So I appreciate everyone who has given me feedback in regards to the pod wherever they have phoned me. I was at UBL yesterday. They send mad shout outs to you guys.
Woo, we
are
love you.
watching
We love you.
guys.
We love
Yeah.
you. We love you.
Yeah, they're watching you, and I think that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. So here we are.
Back
So
to
you
your
guys-
gym story. Yeah? Sorry.
Wait,
Back to your gym story. When you were in the guy, he came and whispered to you.
Yeah, like how because
I don't overfollow the story. The man whispered and that's it.
And even the
Chill.
moisture,
The man
Chill,
wasn't
guys.
doing
the
that
moisture
straight.
fell on your ear. Like,
I was doing deadlift. You know how they're doing deadlift?
yeah. When you're doing
Yeah.
deadlift, your
Fuck
bum
off,
is
bro.
like this.
Fuck you, bro.
The guy just came and
Faizo,
the
chill
guy
again.
just came and was like,
Faizo.
So you're reading too much
know
into
the
this
moisture
story,
just-
man.
Faizo.
hey, let me
Guys.
ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you lotion your nipples?
Do I lotion my nipples?
Guys, I need to tell you one more thing about my week.
What the fuck is this?
I have
What the
been-
fuck is this?
Why are we lotion?
I know
why?
where he
why?
is headed.
Why are we applying
But
lotion on nipples?
That's about my the other thing that has occupied me.
You applying
the
lotion on your
past
nipples?
week. I don't apply lotion on my nipples because I think someone else should. But guys,
If you're watching the pod, you
Focus.
know.
Bro, guys, if you have Cassie's phone number, hit us up.
no, don't make jokes about it.
Msimpate
Anyway,
ngamba Cassie jina wano in Nigeria.
I have been so occupied
Tamu
by
mani.
Diddy's case.
Oh,
I've been
P. Diddy, eh?
Yes. So I'm
We are
on
not going to
TikTok.
get B-Wall's opinion on
On what?
applying
I
lotion.
don't know. Wama move on. P. Diddy. Wama.
You know how freaky
chill.
B-Roll is. And you know he's always telling us to down for the
You know
50-50.
You know my.
You've applied.
Chill. Fuck you.
First, wait, there's something I want
Let
to know.
us focus.
We are
Let's
getting
talk
to
about
P.
P.
Diddy.
Diddy.
But there's something I want to know. Like when you're applying on the nipples, do
you
just,
chill me.
Do you use just these
Moses,
hands,
cut out
these
this part.
fingers?
Do you remember that? Do you remember the Burkina Faso guy? That
Mama
guy
move
who
on.
had sex with like the entire
entire
family and what
country.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You remember?
Yes.
Him and Diddy, yeah?
Hey, Mutuzo, Wama, tell us the
Stop
Diddy
making
situation.
jokes about this.
We're
But
not
I've
making
been
jokes,
so
we're talking
occupied.
facts.
Guys, lotion. Anyway.
Because I think I'm following anyone and everyone that's like talking about this case, attending court sessions.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about like everyone they have, every witness the government has brought so far. But so here's how I know Diddy has really good lawyers who know how to gaslight, right? So of course, government brought a case. His sex trafficking, drugs, domestic violence, all these things. I'm very sure right now most people know what Diddy is being charged for.
Tell the people we are there.
No, that's kind of a summary of it.
Yeah, that's about
Yeah.
it. Sex trafficking,
there's drugs,
domestic
yeah,
violence,
domestic violence,
forcing
enabling
people-
prostitution.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Here's what Diddy's defense team did. Because the evidence is there that he was into domestic violence. They came and said, listen, guys, Tetugange, our guy is a horrible person. Okay? So that's an established fact. Tetugange, he was violent. Tetugange, he, is into some very
Freaky shit.
freaky shit. But this case is not about the things you guys are saying. It's about some chick that's just jealous.
That's what one of the lawyers said.
Not
Team.
what that's
The
that,
team.
that's what
That's the argument they
that's
have
the
brought.
narrative they are pushing, that this is not about this guy being a sex trafficker or violent or what. It's really about a girl, a woman that's very jealous, that's vengeful, and money.
Is there merit in that argument?
Well, I think if they are as good as they are so far, it could have some merit, because CASSIE has taken money before, not once, not twice. I think twice actually, because when she made a case, I think last year, before this RICO case, she settled. Diddy settled
She
for
settled out of,
$20 million,
court, yes,
right?
yes.
Now there's that video that was leaked where Diddy is beating her
beating
up
her
in
up, yeah.
near the elevator.
In the hall, I
I
think.
The hallway.
think- Yeah. I think she sued the hotel, and they also settled for about $10 million. So they are basically saying, look here, guys, this person is about the money. It's not, because if you look at their text messages, there's some messages where she says, I can't wait to,
F4.
Yeah, like they were both
like they were
toxic.
both into it. So they're saying, I mean,
I think
and then he's saying even the drug things, yeah, maybe the drugs were there, but all these things were consented too. It's not me, it's not sex trafficking if these people consented
yeah.
to the sex trafficking, and then of course government brings in these people to show how violent he is and whatnot. But like all these men were paid, what are they called, escorts,
yeah.
which means
There was an agreement.
There was
I
an
pay you, you give me a
agreement.
service.
Exactly. So I don't think they're trying to make this whole thing go away. They're just trying to change the narrative. And if it's like just domestic violence, him beating up someone,
That can be dealt with separately.
Like the years will be fewer, but like these sex trafficking charges, that's like life in prison. So I think they were like, you know what? I don't think we can take away, because the evidence is, overwhelming.
It's overwhelming, yeah.
But what we can do,
Is it just me or did the lights change?
No, it's
They
changed.
changed.
It's changed.
Yeah.
It changed color. I thought for a moment it was like in an alternate universe where I'm rich. You get it?
Yeah, it
Because all the
changed
dreams
color.
I have when I'm rich, the place is yellow.
yeah,
Not
so,
green.
And like,
Not
but
really.
like when you
So listen,
from
I think
For starters, let's put a comma there. Let's shout out to our people that are watching us live on TikTok, guys. So today we did something amazing. We started off the show with a brief live on TikTok. We're going to be doing this for the remaining episodes. So you can always get in touch with us and get to know what time we are shooting. You can always inbox us or just tweet us. But we'll be doing a bit of live, just like we have done now on our TikTok page. And then we cut it off. You can be able to follow up on the show, the full episode, once it drops Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Mose, you can now
Mulaba,
cut off TikTok,
Radio
guys.
host.
Oh, wait,
one.
have you cut off?
One.
not yet. So I don't know. Does TikTok give subtitles?
Yeah.
Because there's a very huge audience there that loves Luganda a lot, right?
Koleo ka
And-
episode mu Luganda.
And right now they might be a bit lost. However, tubagala nnyo mwenna.
Tututambudde-
Muli bantu baffe.
tututambudde
Muli bantu
n'abakasuku.
baffe.
Soko ingire no kesi ya Diddy.
Muli bantu
Uganda
baffe.
tulabe.
Thank you very much. We shall catch up with you on YouTube.
We shall catch up
Soko ingire
together
no
in
kesi ya Diddy
Uganda.
So-
Uganda.
Ya Diddy. Kakati obuzibu
Kati
bwe-
waliyo
obuzi-
omuyimbi bamuyita Sean Diddy Combs. Ono
Puff
omuyimbi
Daddy.
Puff Daddy.
Puff Daddy.
Ono omuyimbi
You're giving us the whole.
abadde
Bamuyita Saba Oilo.
You guys chill,
Just give Bernard to give us a reply.
Yeah.
Bernard,
chill.
Soko tuwa
So
uraga.
what I was saying
But you
is,
see how Luganda is not easy?
of course, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not my first language, so not even my second language. But for me, for the Diddy thing, I think, as you said, I think they have a very, very strong legal team. The challenge, though, is, and yes, the case they might be presenting might have a bit of merit in the sense that this babe had a certain role to play, right? But my worry is it's going to take away from the gravity of the situation.
Yeah.
Because this guy was an asshole. He was a horrible human being, right?
Horrible human being
And
is
this
such
babe was
an
just
understatement. 19.
she was for her to get that bravery to come out and speak, let me tell you, there are so many people out there who this guy did even worse things to.
And they want
But they can't speak. They can't, right? They can't. And now, if this case is kind of stifled or messed up or whatever, they're going to lean back and say, ah man, if even this baby who had a really, really legit case has been shut down, what about me? Because this guy did horrible things to very many people. And for me, it sets precedent for a bigger kind of conversation that I love the shit that lawyers do. I love the fact that lawyers can, like you can commit a crime and everybody can see you've committed the crime. And the lawyer can come and get you off.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. My only challenge is, I feel like there's certain humanity we lose when we, I don't know. There are certain crimes when committed. Yes, you deserve to have a lawyer for a fair hearing and whatnot. But the general rule should be, first we all agree you're a criminal. Tutandikirao. Then we can agree on, should the punishment be heavier or lighter? But we all agree, or movie. But lawyers will come and tell you that, no, he's not a criminal.
But with Diddy, they accepted. They said our guy.
But they're like, guys.
They're like, our guy might be bad.
Our guy is a bad guy.
He's a bad guy.
The worry is now other women who he did bad things to are going to be afraid to come out.
And
because this babe's case looked like it was rock solid. It was airtight. But now suddenly it's not.
I
That's
just
my
want
worry.
to like really, really speak to Cassie's bravery, because I've been watching what she said in her testimony, and hear me out. Me, Micheline, I would not be alive today.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think anyone can experience what she went through
And still remain
who she is. She is testifying and she is heavily pregnant.
Imagine.
Like, how do you... Me, I wouldn't. Like, she's heavily pregnant. She is testifying. The people that are in court are saying she would break down and like wail, and then they would ask her, do you need a minute? And like most times should be like, no, it's okay. I want to go on. For me, that alone, and I keep saying, speaking out gives you a certain kind of healing.
Yeah. And that's...
that I don't know whichever way this goes. I think her speaking out about
a step
it,
in the right direction.
I think for me, that's a takeaway
even
home.
if he doesn't like go to jail for as long as we thought.
That's a point
It
people
gives
need
her
to take home with when it gets to this kind of situations. It's very unfortunate what is happening with Diddy, especially the victims and so on and going forth. But I think moving forward, people need to learn that speaking out is very necessary. And this doesn't have to only be for the females. There are men out there who are also going through some crazy domestic related violence, and it's mad. We saw what this guy went through. This famous movie actor, what's his name?
Johnny
Depp. You saw how things unfolded. So this shouldn't be just an issue of us listening and following up on P Diddy's case, and we all know what he did was fucked up. Some crazy things he did, man, like having sex on the father's grave and so much. It's crazy. But guys, speak out. If you're a woman, speak out. If shit is not working out for you, don't stay in there, because you're going to land on someone who will tell you a statement like, but if they were doing this to you, why did you stay? Some ridiculous statements like that. Or why did you keep quiet? So speak out. Speak up as much as you can, whether you're a man or a female. Make sure you speak out. It's crazy what's going on, man.
And just to make it clear, you speaking out does not mean everyone is going to believe you, or everyone is going to stand with you or feel sorry for you. I think most times as victims, that's like a slight mistake or worry that we will have of, they won't believe me, they will abuse me.
What will people think of me?
Think of me? I want you to know, it's not a guarantee that everyone you tell your story is going to believe you or stand with you. However,
if I told you I got choked last weekend, would you believe me? Be all. I'm talking to you. I almost lost my name.
Guys, as we move on
we need to move on. But
as we move on to some other things,
there's some of us There's some of us that
Utuzo.
will hear you.
You
Okay,
time
I'm
out.
done being serious,
Jeez,
guys.
you
Okay,
guys, the
we'll
pod
continue.
has now become too
Man,
serious.
Which is okay. No,
Stop.
there's something you are
This is
going
the
to
point.
okay.
my
It's
talking
okay. No,
story.
it's
You
okay.
guys have
We
done it, man.
It's also okay. It's also okay if it
30
gets
minutes.
serious. But
Yo,
God.
Guys,
What
I'm letting
going?
you know. I was
Mama, get a muscle.
killed.
Get a muscle.
What I wanted to say
Shino, ngenda
is,
chikuba.
Nzakubona mtuzo bali bantuze
anyway,
babantuga.
what I wanted to say is this, yeah. I think when you're praying for money, yeah, also pray for the wisdom that will come with that money.
With the money, yeah.
That's
Because-
very important.
Yeah.
Faisal,
There are
no,
very many
Pastor
times-
Faisal, say it again.
But
Because that we need to cut it out.
Them ne
What-
Muluganda.
Hey, no,
Chema-
say it.
Ah,
Say it in
you
English.
guys
No, it's a very important thing.
Just say the statement. You don't
Say
have
it
to use
again.
two languages.
Say
What
it
I was
again
saying
in
is
English.
this, yeah?
Yeah.
When you're praying for money, don't forget to pray for the wisdom that comes with handling that money.
Yeah.
Because something that just
you very
occurred
much.
while you guys were talking, there's this one time I was very broke. And in my head, I just wanted even 20K. Somehow, I got 100K. The first idea that came to my head was first call this babe, call this babe, call this other babe, call this babe. Lockdown days, you remember?
yeah.
How shit was. You're down to your last, cup of rice.
Yeah.
And you're praying for God, just give me 20,000. God gives you 100,000. And the first thing I did was call up 3 channels in the area. And when you look at this is not just a Diddy issue, guys, but I look at so many men who have accumulated money, the things they have done with that money. Not just Diddy, but there's R. Kelly, not just R. Kelly, the rumors about MJ, not just MJ, but even here in
Billy
Uganda.
Cosby, you know.
Because even here in Uganda,
Yeah.
there are some people who I will not mention yet, because tomorrow I might want their money. Yeah, so let me keep your name. But yeah, there are some people I haven't mentioned whereby they got money and then they did some audacious acts that you look at and be like, but this nigga has money. He could have gotten any other woman in this town. Why did he have to go for a teenager?
Yeah.
And that hits to that point of I fear judging rich people. Like even when I see the PDD cases and all these things, I fear judging these people because me with money is one of the stupidest versions of me I've also ever seen.
Yeah, that's
I'll
true.
walk in town, I'll buy 5 pairs of shoes
Yeah.
just because I have the money to do it. You get? I will walk here and there. I'll send like 2 or 3 of my family members money. Yeah. So I feel like if I did have PDD version of money without
knows
the
what you would have
wisdom
done.
that comes with handling that money, because I'm also going to talk about very successful men who have handled their own. Yeah.
Those are there as well.
Because
yes.
you'd expect someone like Dave Chappelle to have a very bad rapport out there. But he's one of the people who's clean, apart from the shit he says on stage.
50 Cent. Look at 50 Cent,
Yeah.
you know.
So I'll get into some of the most audacious things that happened with this PDD case. The craziest one for me was he called her, CASSIE, to go and have sex on his late dad's grave.
What the fuck?
At that point in time, that's like a
What is that?
That cannot just be a kink.
But how do you even think of such a thing,
What?
man?
How do you even erect? How do you even erect?
Money. Okay, not money.
How do you even erect?
So, as in, what message are you sending to your dad? As in, like, what are you saying?
I don't even want to make a joke
It's
about it.
just messed up.
Go on,
man.
it's a
How-
gag
what
thing,
else?
yeah?
Yeah.
Another one was there was a 96-hour freak off. So these guys
Our freak off.
got basically everyone was participating in that freak off was there for 4 days, day and night. And when you're tired, they put you on an IV.
Resuscitate
They put you on an
you.
IV for like an hour. You
And you're
come
back
back
to
strong.
normal, yeah.
You do it again. IV, come back strong, do it again. Because of course, for those, if you party for a very long period of time, one of the things you're going to face is dehydration.
Yeah.
Dehydration will wear you
Absolutely.
down. Your liver cannot detoxify any of the things
Yeah.
you're putting in anymore, so you shut down. So when they see you're starting to shut down,
They
IV,
give
you come back up for 4 days. Another one is there's a testimony involving semen. So CASSIE testified that after a male escort ejaculated on her during a freak off, Combs took her to another room and forced her to rub the semen on his chest and nipples.
Oh, God. I mean, let me tell you, you guys have done crazy things while having sex.
No.
But, I mean, guys have eaten ass here, but that's anyway. You guys have eaten ass, bro. It's
You might
crazy.
as well just point at the guys.
Right?
Commander.
What's the issue? Can we move on?
Come on.
No, but you
So
know,
that kind of image itself in my mind just goes ahead to describe how freaky P Diddy was. And in my head, I'm like, how freaky can one be when it gets to sex? Because that's
know,
outrageous.
What's a yes and what's a no?
yeah.
I mean, yes.
Usually, no, right now, before, even things like having sex in public was a taboo. You get to tell someone, hey man, you remember, I think in our S1, you'd find people having sex like on the beach and you're like, oh my God, these guys had sex at the beach when we're in MDD.
Yeah.
Now that shit is normal. As long as you two consent. So that's what I'm saying. This looks very horrific right now. But 10, 20 years from now, the shit Diddy has done, people are probably
be normal.
replicating that shit now.
Can I just also say that I think the power that sex has over human beings is it's immeasurable, yeah? And the way everybody reacts to sex is very different. The things that turn all of us on are very different. Now, and that's a very, it's a very dangerous thing, because the assumption that somebody would have is that the average man is turned on by seeing, let's say, a naked woman, right? You see her breasts, you see her unmentionables, and you get turned on. So that's ideally what everybody is thinking the normal man is. But not everybody is a normal man. There are men who are turned on by toes. Right? No, I'm not pointing at
No,
him.
I'm not pointing at you.
Why pointing at the wall like this? I've seen these toes.
Yeah. The men who are turned on by toes. Right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. There are also men out there who get turned on by eating ass. What's wrong with this guy? There are also men, and this is something that you guys might not understand. That there are men who are turned on by grief. Actually, human beings who are turned on by grief. You guys might not have watched Modern Family. Yeah, there's an episode in Modern Family where one of the girls is turned on by grief. That whenever a member of the family dies, she gets horny, and she can't explain it, right? And it's not a very unnatural thing. It's just, as I was saying, sex has different parts of your brain that it touches for everybody. For some, when the things that turn them on are, for example, the smell of books, like books.
Yeah, I do.
And you're like, what the fuck is this? Are you mad? For some people, it's a smell of a seasoning, and you can't explain it, but it is what it is. So for Diddy, unfortunately, it's something despicable. That's what turns him on. The same way you find somebody who is into pedophilia. That this guy, his mind has been like there are wires in his mind that were plugged out of here and plugged into a different place. And for him, that's the shit that turns him on. You put him in front of a mature adult, and he's just non-reactive. Right? So our responsibility as human beings is to try as much as possible to, first of all, talk about these things so that people can inform you and tell you, by the way, that's a medical condition, right? Because you might be there thinking this is normal, but you need help. Talk about it. Tell people that, by the way, this is the shit that kind of works for me. And they will tell you, it's fine. Or they will tell you, by the way, maybe seek help. Because there are people who need help, but they don't know. And they're making their partners do ridiculous things, horrible things, but they need help. Talk to your, speak. Talk to your partner. Talk to an expert. Ask them that, for me, the things that turn me on are A, B, C, D. Am I normal? Let the expert tell you that it's a normal process, it's fine. Or it's a phase you're going through. Or it's actually abnormal and you need help. But people do shit and they keep quiet, and you meet a partner and you force them to, leak certain things, and they don't want that. Yeah. So, but talk to people, understand what is acceptable, what's not acceptable, you
And
know.
talking about talking,
Yeah.
this goes back to, conversations people be having when you're dating. I don't know what conversations people be having nowadays, but I feel like these are things people
Thank
need to
you.
start
Talk
talking
about
about,
them.
If you've gone out on a date, start talking about this shit. Be like, man, me, I'm
This is
an
why I like
acting guy. I'm a
Butuzo's. Let's have sex.
Yes.
Get it out of the way.
So that
I
you
subscribe
tell
that
people
so that we
that
know.
you want-
We deal with
you
sex
want
and it's done.
someone to rub things on.
I want to ask you, man.
I know she was showing.
I want to ask
You
you
want
whether
someone
when you was with this babe. So, Aine, are you trying to say one of your first date questions is, are you okay with me putting a thumb in your mouth?
Why not? Why not? As they're bringing the dessert. Oh, by the way,
I'm going somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
if on your first date, you tell your date that, me, I want to watch you being fucked by someone else, and she's okay with that.
I mean, if that's
If that's what you guys are, if you're into voyeurism, it's okay because as long as all parties
I'm
involved
getting somewhere.
are
I'm getting
consenting,
somewhere.
Yeah.
it's okay.
So if now you reach that Diddy stage of now, it's not just I want to watch, but after he comes,
Yeah.
bring that shit, smear out on me.
Okay, for
if
starters,
all of you are okay with it, by the way,
It is okay.
yes,
it's okay.
There's, as long
I
as
may
there's
not
a party
subscribe
that,
to it,
as long as
but
there's
there
a party
could be a
that's
guy
not
those
okay
ends
with
who
it.
says it's okay.
It should not
Yes,
happen.
as long as there's a party that is not okay
But
with
you
it.
see where I'm going.
Even
Should
if
it?
it's
Well,
even
I'm going.
Even if it's a threesome,
yes.
threesome. Let me give you the simplest example. A
Yeah.
threesome. Before you have a threesome, you ask your partner.
Yes.
We're gonna have a threesome. This is the subject. This is it. This is how they
Yeah.
look like.
Yes.
If it's your partner's idea, and she's like, you know what, Dero, by the way, me, I want us to bring Tom, and we do this thing. I'm like,
If you're
don't
not
do
okay with it, you're
don't
gonna
do
go,
it.
but no.
I'm not okay with it.
Yes.
But then tomorrow she might come and she's like, I'm bringing Vanessa, and I'm like,
It's all right.
It's okay.
Let's operate.
let's try it.
And it should end
So it
there, by
should
the
be-
way. But
Yes,
the
it
minute
should
you
end
start
there.
saying those things of, if you don't want a Vanessa, that video that we recorded or Jukida, it
Then
is
there
going
are-
out
then there was a
now.
problem.
Then
Yes,
we have a
yes,
problem.
yes,
I want to-
Like, it
absolutely.
should be absolute
Consent.
free will.
If
Thank
there's
you.
something people should take from this case, as
Thank
we
you.
leave this case actually, it's never, however comfortable you are or however much you love your partner, when you're doing the deed, never record anything. Do not.
No, I
leave
don't think the problem is recording.
evidence,
For
guys.
me, you know what?
No, that is one.
If
of
that is the shit
problems.
that turns both of you on, you love recording.
It
why
doesn't
would you
matter
not?
because 10
Let
years
me tell
later,
you.
how sure
The
are
problem-
you?
How sure are you? You won't use that shit against
The problem is not
There
the
are some
recording.
situations
You guys-
you have
Come
been
on.
Bad person.
How many sex videos do you
we
have?
already ascertained.
How many
that he's a
have I
bad
ever
person.
shared?
No,
Now
what
number
I'm
2.
saying-
How many?
Let me ask
How
you
many?
this.
Like
Who
by the
keeps
way,
them? Who keeps this video? Is it you, the
it
guy?
doesn't
or
matter.
the chick?
It doesn't matter.
Don't
as long
record.
look, if you love recording, fucking record.
Don't record,
It's
guys.
a trap.
Don't record.
Guys,
Don't record.
So you don't trust yourself. Will you ever share it?
Not me. I will.
So why are you
never
worried?
record
Why are you
myself.
worried?
the other person.
Period.
What if what she won't share?
No.
By the way,
Tell you,
by the way,
even her.
And right now
she's
they are
skeptical.
hackers.
She's like, they
Oh,
wrong.
no.
But I can hack your
Yes.
phone and
That's
get that
right.
video and blackmail you.
Listen.
Do you remember
Listen.
the case
Yes.
that happened with the Madrid team? Where this guy, Benzema was framing, France, sorry, my bad. Where Benzema was framing his own teammate.
No, listen.
That's why you can never, and in some cases, your
Guys.
own brother
Yeah.
frames you, gets
I
your
get
video,
that.
and like, Bernard,
I
man, you
get
have to
that.
eat your man.
No, I get that. However,
the
for
way-
me, I am a huge proponent for the fact that if me and my person want to do something, we shall do it.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you, Bill. There is
Guys,
that.
guys,
Period. As long as
guys,
we both
There is-
consent.
there is that
Let me-
consent there,
Yes,
eh?
yes.
Because you are in the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe the relationship
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
But man, time.
Obviously.
10
Guys,
years from now, things
No,
might
Yes,
change.
obviously, in
That's
10
right.
years, why do I still have that content?
Why does she still have the content? She probably
We
still has
guys
the
hasn't-
content.
Come back
Dasha.
here. Come
Anyway.
back here.
Dasha, let me just say something to
1
the
minute.
people watching.
In 1 minute.
That if someone comes to blackmail you over nudes content that you recorded, I don't know how you will get yourself to this point, but do not pay them a single shilling. You tell them,
Release.
release it.
Yeah.
This is my free
Advice.
advice.
Legal advice.
Not legal, but tell them to release it, because let me tell you, the minute you allow someone to blackmail you, it will never
It will never end.
go away, because tomorrow they will ask for 200K, you give it to them. After a month, once they become broke-ish, they ask for 500. Once it gets done, they ask for 1 million. It will not go away.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter them saying, oh, I will delete after you send, baby girl.
However,
tell them to release it. We
bottom
shall deal
line-
with the
bottom line
repercussions.
is,
Do
make sure
not
there's no
record.
what? Evidence.
Anyway,
Tuveyo, pindi
we
tumuveko.
do stupid things when we,
should-
are in love, guys.
Yeah,
Like,
we do things when
so,
we love, yeah.
But anyway, they say love is blind.
Chupa
So.
mukubeka Chris Brown. Because I need you to
Chupa
work
ya
up. Mutuzo,
tequila.
I never at any one point in time want videos of you doing anything.
Okay,
licking.
so
let's
starting
leave
this
that some-
point, I agree. But you can't hold me to the things that happened like years ago.
Thank
Of
you.
course, before I can, but from now on,
Okay.
don't.
From
now
episode
on-
19.
Because even nothing
Episode
serious
19.
is reputation.
Is that-
Hangs on it.
Or we could cash out.
Like it's a Kim Kardashian. It's gonna be the hardest.
That would be
like-
Michelle taking one for the team.
For the
Like,
team.
Guys,
Let me push this
let's
team
look
global.
at that.
Let me push
Yeah.
the team global.
International.
We are now
Let's
global.
look at the positive.
You see our viewers moving.
Speaking of global, yeah.
Everyone will be looking for me.
Speaking of global,
let's cross over to the UK
our best,
from the US.
our best musician, Chris Breezy,
Yep.
got arrested in the UK for allegedly smashing a tequila bottle over a music producer's head at the London nightclub in 2023. He's now in custody until June, facing a possible 16-year sentence. And it's another chapter in his never-ending saga of controversies.
For starters,
Is anyone out there celebrating?
it's
this
only
with
you
me?
celebrating.
Men can't celebrate the downfall of another man.
Yeah, we don't
It's
do that.
not
Mama, first
just
give us your- what do you
any
think?
other man.
However-
It's a
Oh man.
Wait,
The
guys.
new UTB.
Yeah, she's-
Hey, it is, hey.
We have 24 minutes. We need to like do this.
We have
quickly.
24 minutes. Anyway, so guys, Chris Brown is in jail. Is in the UK, and like Papa said, in 2023, he hit tequila bottle on some music promoter, and of course, after that, we all understand that
23, 24, 25.
you get, but we all understand that Chris Brown has been having issues with visas in the UK. I think the recent time he performed in the UK was when Wizkid was performing, and Wizkid helped him get a visa and so on and so forth, and that's how Chris Brown manages to put UK back on his tour. Now, it's quite unfortunate that his legal team, his management team, just decided to keep quiet, because I don't want to blame Chris Brown, because I've been in a bar fight. Sometimes it's not you. Sometimes it's just what has been happening, and you just find yourself throwing a punch, throwing a bottle, or anything,
That's
you
how
know?
it's going.
And I'm saying, for an artist like Chris Brown, someone who has had issues with a whole country, like a whole kingdom, the United fucking Kingdom, you know it, you know? I'm not supposed to be in this country because of A, B, C, D. Well, maybe he had a brainwash or some shit and he couldn't remember. But where the fuck was his legal team? The legal team was supposed to tell him, you know what, as you're planning this trip, as you're planning this tour,
Yeah.
UK is out of bounds because there's an arrest warrant. From 2023, the arrest warrant has been on.
I know why.
Yeah.
You know, management team, nothing. And I'm starting to think maybe the management team and the legal team of Chris Brown could have been in this. You mentioned a
I feel like
statement
they
that
just
is
want to
very
teach him a
disturbing, you know. His unending escapades, something like that, you know.
Yeah.
This is a
If
lesson.
there's someone who has been unlucky in the music industry but has held on to it, it's Chris fucking Brown.
I cannot believe
He-
you're
I'm-
calling him unlucky, guys.
I don't think there's anyone who would want to move from one problem to another. It doesn't matter whether you brought the problem onto yourself, whether it's your
You're
actions
not
to blame.
Unlucky. You're
but-
just
I
a
mean,
bad person.
Come on, this is someone who literally makes an earning from his music.
he
He
should
could have
behave
done.
better.
He could have done some fucked up things. And I'm one person who believes in people can change. He
you
could
guys,
have
eh?
done some fucked up things,
No,
which we can agree
no.
to disagree.
You know what, yeah?
But man,
We won't
No,
argue with
this-
this
no,
about Dasha. We will argue
Dasha,
about
do you know why?
this after.
First of all, yeah,
yeah.
this Chris Brown has been in this situation very many
Before.
times.
Many times.
This is the first point.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should have learned. That's point number one. Point number two. You are goddamn Chris Brown.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are you the one throwing the bottle? Someone else should be throwing the bottle. You're busy.
Piper, let me
You
tell
get what I'm
you.
saying?
See,
I'm
see,
coming. I'm
this is-
coming.
this is why I say-
Wait.
okay,
Nzija.
okay.
Nzija.
Okay,
Number three. If I was Chris Brown and I lost a gem like Rihanna, let me tell you something. I would go for an operation, put my head, tell them to cut every nerve that makes me angry. Because my G, for you to drop a gem like Rihanna, and you think your life will ever be lucky again, that's why you said he's unlucky.
Yeah, he is. He
It
is.
started from that point. There's some shit that
by
happens
the way,
in your life, and that bad luck chases you forever.
And talking about bad luck,
There's
by the way,
witchcraft
Chris
in
Brown,
Barbados.
if there is any other person you need to reach out to in regards to, being lucky and stuff like that, check out our very own Eddie Kenzo Msuza. That's a fucking definition of being lucky, I can assure you.
Yeah.
If you look at his life story, he's a very fucking lucky guy. So it's very unfortunate what is happening to Chris Brown. But then also the whole tequila bottle incident, man, when you're in the bar piper, you see, the advantage you have is that you don't drink, so you may not get to understand it.
I've been in a bar fight before.
Yeah, but someone who has
Do you
been
drink?
intoxicated,
Do you drink?
What
they
sort of
easily
percentage?
lose it.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
They easily
Wait.
lose it. So a bar
Camomile.
fight like that can easily happen. Me, I've seen guys shoot themselves. Shooting.
There's no
Okay.
justification you're going to give me for Chris Brown.
Wait,
I can understand. Wait, I can understand you getting in a bar fight.
Yeah.
Him, me, even Mutuzu. I cannot understand Chris Brown getting in a bar fight.
More reason
because
for him to
at
actually
his
get in a
stature,
bar fight.
You
Dasha.
have people who are holding your back. People are pouring for you your drinks. Nigga, if anyone pisses me off, I can get you bounced. I am
Yeah.
freaking Chris Brown. You piss me off, they carry you out of the goddamn bar.
Sometimes security guards are even caught off guard.
I
Look
don't
at what
want to
happened-
even
look
buy
at what
the
happened
bar.
to Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was fucking live on stage.
Hey.
By the-
Some nigga
But
But
tried
you
to
saw what
stab
they did
him.
to the nigga.
Yes.
Dave Chappelle as
So
Dave
where-
Chappelle.
where was
when they
security?
came after and was like,
You know?
oh shit, I have to also beat the guy. After the guys had beaten the guy.
Maybe this
You get
guy,
what I'm
I don't
saying?
know. Maybe this guy did some
Dasha,
fucked up
first
shit,
give me a minute.
and flames
Dasha,
went
give me a
off.
minute.
Yes.
Bewol, do you drink?
Yes, I do.
Do you get drunk?
Yes, I do.
Do you fight?
Absolutely not. Never
Okay.
have, never will.
Dasha,
Me, I have.
Dasha.
I have fought.
so you have a problem, right?
No, fuck off.
Basically, if there was a Chris Brown on this
Because
set,
No,
Yeah.
I can assure you, in
Because
my
Dasha-
campus days, we did fight. Those who were with
Dasha,
me in
listen
Mukono,
to
no.
me. I drink, I get drunk. When I get drunk, I start looking for my mind for peace.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to beat anyone up. I'm not trying to,
Cause a scene,
you get my
you know,
point.
yeah.
Like, I want peace. I asked him if he drinks and he I know that he drinks.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be like very
Clear.
clear. A violent person is a violent person.
That's a very key thing.
Drunk,
Or not.
sober, tipsy, a violent person is a violent person, period. And regardless of whether it is Chris Brown or some random guy in some bar in Uganda, a violent person should not be out here meandering around. Like, yeah, I believe people can change, blah, blah, blah. But once you show us once and twice and 3 times, we have no exoneration for you. You cannot change. Go to jail and fight fellow prisoners.
You know what?
It's very unfair that he might be in jail for about, 16 months?
He should be.
I don't think the word
If
is
they have
unfair.
sentenced
It's
him.
not
I don't think
unfair.
the word
It's
is
very
unfair.
unfair that he's beating people with tequila bottles.
Because
You
because
can lose your
because
flares,
every
guys.
you should be responsible for whatever you do.
You have to be
know?
responsible for your actions, yes.
That's
but let
that's-
us not throw this huge
first
stone
way,
on him.
First way. And Chris Brown in his position as as an entertainer and whatnot, he's no longer just Chris Brown.
he's a brand.
There are many young kids, leave alone being a brand, there are many young kids who look up to him. There are many young kids who are inspired by him. So the things he does are no longer just about him alone, right? Which means we can't hold him to the same standard as you, right? Yes, you are a celebrity here in Kampala, in Uganda, but on the global scene, his standard is way ahead.
But he's human.
So no, I get that. I get that.
He's human. And
I'm not.
in the
Yeah,
previous episode.
I don't forget that. He's human, but the difference between him and me, for example, is he can afford to protect himself and hide certain humanities that he has. I cannot afford to do that. For example, if we are seated here and you piss me off, I have to choose to confront you physically. If I'm rich and you piss me off, I can say I won't touch you. I'll pay guys to come and beat you. Right? So having money, I can deal with the situation separately, which means also him, the problems he has. He has the money.
Because of
He has
him.
wait, let me finish my point. So the one thing I want us to desist from is holding everybody at the same level. That's a mistake by saying that they're all human, right? We are all human, but every stage of life you go to comes with its own responsibility. So when you climb and stop being a commoner, you become a celebrity. It comes with responsibilities. It has its privileges, but it also has responsibilities. When you become rich, it has privileges, but it also has responsibilities.
Yeah.
When you become Chris Brown and you're globally known, it has privileges. You can do anything, go everywhere. But it has even bigger responsibilities, meaning you cannot afford to go out there and also involve yourself in a fight. You're human, but you can't afford to do it.
We cannot conclusively say that this is something Chris Brown wanted. I'm going to refer you to...
This is not the first example of him being violent.
I know. And I'm going to refer you to a couple of remarks you made last week in the episode where you talked about how we need to understand where these artists are coming from, what they are dealing with, and so on and so forth. Guys, I mean, like you said, this is fucking Chris Brown.
Yo,
maybe some shit
even
had
if-
gone
Let's
wrong.
not use maybe.
even
Let's
if it
use
were
all
you,
the facts we have.
Some shit had...
Even
Let's
if
use
it
that.
were
Of course
you
some shit
and you
went
called
wrong.
me and you told me, yo, I've been arrested, I clapped some guy,
Yeah.
I broke a bottle of tequila on some guy's head.
Man.
The first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to come and pick you up. But after picking you up, bruh, I am going to slap the
Like,
hell
what the
out
fuck
of
is
you.
this? Yes. Why would you do
Because
this?
why the hell are you breaking bottles on people's
But because
heads?
you had gotten a check of 10 million.
Dasha,
So now you have
let
money,
us
you feel
make
like
it
you can do
clear.
anything? Fuck
They
no.
Let us make it clear that if you go out there and you fight and they arrest you, right? I want to be very, very clear. You and I can never talk again.
Okay, for starters, that's a lie. That cannot
By
happen.
the way, like I don't.
What can't happen? The you not fighting or they had not talking?
The me not fighting.
Thank you.
Because like I said, I had my equal share of that. And right now, like you mentioned, I have a brand to protect. I have,
podcast.
Shouldn't Chris Brown think like that?
Why are you
He
thinking
should.
like that?
He
With
should,
your
but-
little Ugandan
but
I have a
brand?
brand. You with your little...
Yeah.
Well-
Which is little Ugandan brand.
I mean,
No, but in the context of Chris
listen,
Brown...
in the context
Yeah.
of Chris Brown,
That man, I always
Chris
think
But
Brown
why don't you
is-
involve yourself
He
in
is
a
a
fight?
big brand,
You
but
as-
you're
as
comparing
Derek,
him
why?
to Chris Brown. If he has that in mind, that I have to protect a brand,
Yeah.
why can't someone like Chris Brown?
Do that as well.
Let me ask you guys something. Let me ask you guys
we
an
need to
off
go to
question.
our
Yeah?
nothing serious
Imagine
topic.
they've taken you to that prison and Chris Brown is next to you and he tells you, help me escape. I'm going to give you $1 million outside.
I'm also planning to escape.
No, you're not even at how are you planning? You don't have the means.
do you mean?
But
Like-
it comes
like we're both in prison?
all you
We
have
are
to
both
do,
in prison.
we're in the same cell. It's like all you have to do, help me, we dig this toilet out. After we boom, I'll give you $1 million from outside.
Why not? We go.
Yeah, I have
We
done
will
the toilet
go.
already.
We
And I
go.
will
Why not?
snitch
In
you.
there real quick,
I'll
bro.
be such a snitch after
Right?
I'm very
Yes!
powerful.
Every night I'll be
What I
practicing
say.
my breathing
My
capability.
friend.
So I bring that up because
Because I know I'm going to go through sewage.
in New Orleans, 10 guys escaped on Friday 16th. This is like 6 days ago. 10 inmates broke out of jail in an audacious overnight escape. They managed to flee by creating a hole behind the toilet. As of today, 7 of the 10 escapees have been recaptured.
What kind of fuckery
While
is
3
this?
remain at large. Some of the escapees were facing serious charges and all that. If you're going me, the guy I'm not happy with is the nigga who escaped, went to his ops, and posted a picture. Back, niggas.
Like he escaped,
I
went
am
with his
back.
buddies, he's like,
Hey,
I'm back in the
yeah.
building.
Went to the ops like I escaped right now from Nigeria. I come here and I tell you guys,
It's,
take a
we're
selfie
live.
and tell these
We're live.
motherfuckers we're back.
We're live and free.
You find that shooting each episode, you just
Hey,
drop in, you're
we're
like,
live.
guys, we're here.
To the free.
The other thing I wanted to ask
What
you guys,
the-
Guys, just see my podcast here.
if all of us were in prison,
Yeah.
in the same cell and we escaped, you get your phones. If we're in prison and all of us escaped,
I have a
who do you
book.
think
I have papers.
would be
Yeah,
the
get
first
it.
person they catch? You can't even just type it on your phone. Who do you think they'd be the first person they'd catch? And who do you think would be the last person?
The first person they would
Guys,
grab.
get to be
and
a
the
pen
last
and-
person.
Just right there, right there.
The first person they would grab.
We can just mention it. We can just mention it.
I want to see whether we all coincide.
Hey.
Our answers.
Penny ni nanyenji. I'm a
Eh,
student.
so as we get the thingy, first go on. These guys who escaped. So one of them
Took a
went
selfie.
on a live.
Yeah.
Another
He took
one?
a selfie. The other one went and hid under a car. like in a tourist location,
What's
you
that?
need under the car. Like
You
under
expect to
a
be there for how
car.
long?
Because when they escaped, it was coming to daytime. And then the sun came out. So he's like, nigga, I can't move. So he hit under the car.
And they found
So
him
they
there.
found him. After getting him, he's like, there's another guy of mine. I'll get him. About Domini something. So like two guys.
What the hell?
The way they caught them was so freaking
Answer you,
hilarious.
quicker.
Hey, answer yange jikweke.
Guys, I don't have a pen. What the fuck?
You have
No,
a
let me-
baby
paper, sorry.
in your hand.
Here, there's a paper here.
Okay. What
So the question is,
what's the question?
Who's the first person you think they would catch if all of us escaped from prison?
okay, first quote
And last quote.
and last quote.
Okay.
Last quote na himo ina wano.
Okay. So how do we proceed now? What next?
So we are all going to we're going to flag our answers at the same time.
Oh, we put
First
them.
quote and last quote. Okay. Shit, that's hilarious. I'm ready
Okay,
for
I'm done.
submission.
I'm also
So
done.
put in there. Put in there.
So we think.
No. Leave them. Leave them. So So Faiz, when
Now I have to show
put them in.
all of them at the same time.
No, yeah, it's in open one and tell us.
The first one.
The first
So
one.
the first one, Michi first.
To be quote.
Hey, this is definitely Michelle.
No, it's okay. Then the last
B will
person.
last. Why B will last?
That's not me.
It's okay, Chochite.
Why
That
B will
was
last?
me.
Oh,
That was
yo.
me.
Of
Why
course
B will
it's
last?
Right, so first go through all of
First
them.
go through all of them.
Okay, this is this one. First quote, Mutuzo. Last quote, B will. Who wrote
that
with pink?
That's me.
God
Oh
damn.
my God.
Aine. First quote, Dasha. Last quote, B will. Okay.
Who wrote that one?
That's me, Faiz.
Me. First quote, B will.
Last quote.
Me.
Now, here's why I think Michelle will be the first one to be called.
I agree with you.
For starters, she will have to first go and make her nails. Kabam,
Yes.
kabam, kabam.
Yeah, she has to look peng.
Like she has just come out, she's like, guys, we here. They're like, you come. You can't tell us.
I need to look fresh.
person-
Nails, hair. No, that is true.
Yeah,
That is
last
true.
person to be called would be B-Wall.
Why?
B-Wall has the capability of going incognito and can easily not be noticed. So whoever said that would be the first one to be called, who said it?
Me.
Tell us why.
Because you don't have
So
the
explain.
ability to
Give
be
us your
incognito.
explanation. Give us. So the
I
first
love
person to
Michelle.
be caught.
Fuck you.
Derek. Why?
Okay, why?
That should probably
Like,
go
you don't
live.
have the. Thank you.
He would
You're
go
the
live.
guy
That should be the guy that goes live.
And you say, guys,
And then the last person.
I said you because I also think you can like stay off
Yeah.
social media. You can be like guys.
So for
like,
me, I think the first person to be caught would be Mutuzo.
Why?
She is a very present parent. Like where the child is, she's somewhere near there. They would just go and watch where
They just put a tracker
where crown
on a
is.
crown.
They
and
just
that's
wait.
it. Okay.
And they grab her. The last person would obviously be me.
But that's a beautiful
Because
reason
I
for
can't
me being
just.
caught.
I can
Me, let me
just
tell you
ignore
why.
everybody.
First of all, I said Bill because I have very many reasons. One, Bill is already in the system. This nigga, they have your fingerprint, they have your face, like you.
So they already have me in the system.
It would be worse.
For you, they
Two,
will grab you immediately.
Tell us.
Bill, can you run?
Yeah,
Your knees still
but
very
yeah.
coward.
I'm the only
Last time
person
you
actually
were
on this pod who plays sports.
You
You guys
that
go to
does
the
not
gym.
mean you
Me, I
can
play
run.
sports.
Yeah,
Me, I play
those
sports.
are
You
two
guys go to
different
the
things.
gym.
different
I know,
things.
and that's why I'm saying I'm the only person who can run. You guys go to the gym, you
Okay,
can work out.
the other thing,
Me, I
the-
play sports.
Oh my God,
the
The other
you
thing is,
can't
I was
do
worried for
either.
whether Bill can run for a very long time or not. Then the other thing, have you heard all of us speak? Bill, even when he whispers,
Eh, no, that's
like
yeah.
Bill, you would actually be caught
No, there-
when
there
you're
you have a
trying to
point.
escape.
I can't
Because this
even-
guy would
I
be
can't
like,
even
hey, okay, together. Man down, first time.
I will tell you.
The warden is like, there are some people digging through the toilet.
Wait, if you escape with Bill, you're caught.
Yeah, but I'm a very. So why do you think you'd be the last
Me?
person to be caught?
The last person, me, because now, first of all, I would do a sex change. I already have hair.
Like gender, sex
Gender.
gender.
Or
No,
just
as well.
become.
You become a woman.
have the voice, He's supposed
You
to
become a
pass.
woman.
Voice?
Yes.
I think you speak like
I know you speak like a woman.
End the pod. Let's end the pod here, I swear. Let's end the pod here.
The man might change his gender.
The one may change his gender on the pod.
I've done my nails before. You've seen this. You are the person who painted them. What the fuck?
Moses, let's end the pod. Paizo. On that note, guys, like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being a good sport. Let's hope that Man United wins. The guys who joined us on TikTok, we shall be back on TikTok in the next episode.
But you can go on our YouTube right now, check out our previous episodes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and thank you so much for the comments. They are so wonderful, so brilliant, so fantastic.
And also, guys, another thing, look out for episode 20. We have an amazing guest that is going to be coming to you.
We won't mention who.
Spectacular,
It's going to be bloody.
We are cooking. We are cooking.
But Faizo, you're ready to be a babe.
You are ready to move.